Intimacy is one of the most meaningful and fulfilling aspects of a romantic relationship. It's the space where vulnerability meets connection, where emotional and physical closeness are nurtured and celebrated. In lesbian relationships, where communication, emotional awareness, and shared life experiences often play a central role, the desire for intimacy can feel even more layered. Yet, asking for that intimacy doesn't always come naturally. Whether it's due to fear of rejection, past trauma, or simply not knowing how to start the conversation, many women struggle to express their need for closeness to their partner. The truth is, wanting intimacy is normal. It doesn't make you needy or too much. It means you're human. But even in loving relationships, asking for that deeper connection can feel awkward or even risky. You might worry about making your partner uncomfortable, damaging the mood, or hearing a no that feels personal. For women in same-sex relationships, these conversations can also be complicated by societal taboos, internalized shame, or past experiences where their needs were dismissed or misunderstood. So how do you ask your partner for intimacy and hear her say yes, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire and comfort? The key lies in communication, not just talking, but truly connecting. That means understanding your own emotional and physical needs, being honest about what you want, and expressing it in a way that's gentle, respectful, and open. It means checking in with your partner's comfort level, reading the emotional cues of the relationship, and creating an environment where both of you feel safe, desired, and respected. Intimacy doesn't just happen. It's built moment by moment, conversation by conversation over time. Whether you're asking for more cuddles on the couch, deeper emotional sharing, or sexual connection, it all begins with creating space for openness. And sometimes, truth, express your needs, share your past, or show your insecurities without worrying that it will bad days, but unpredictability erodes safety over time. Your partner should feel like she can count on your emotional presence, even when things are tough. Creating emotional safety isn't about being perfect or never arguing. It's about establishing a solid emotional foundation where both partners feel respected, heard, and valued, even in conflict. And honest conversation with your partner about how she experiences intimacy. You might be surprised by what you learn. Perhaps she sees intimacy as quality time, watching a movie, cooking together, or just existing side by side. Or maybe she finds closeness in verbal affirmation, in words of appreciation and reassurance. Some people need emotional safety before they can engage physically. Others connect through shared adventures, problem solving, or acts of service. That's the beauty of intimacy. It's not one size fits all. It's a custom-made connection. In lesbian relationships, where societal pressures, past relationships, or identity struggles can impact how we express love, it becomes even more essential to unearth these meanings. Past experiences, both positive and painful, shape how we give and receive intimacy. A partner who once felt unsafe being vulnerable may need more patience. Someone who grew up with limited emotional expression might need time to even understand what intimacy means for them. Compassion and curiosity must guide these conversations. When both partners understand and honor each other's unique intimacy language, something powerful happens. Resentment fades, assumptions are cleared, and a deeper bond begins to grow. You no longer reach for your partner in ways she doesn't recognize, and she no longer feels lost trying to meet needs that were never clearly expressed. Ultimately, intimacy is not just about closeness, it's about connection. And connection only thrives when both people feel seen in their individual needs. So take the time, ask the questions, and be ready to listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Communicate your needs with clarity and compassion. In every healthy relationship, communication is the bridge between two people's worlds. When it comes to expressing your needs, especially around intimacy, how you speak is just as important as what you say. In lesbian relationships, where a Compassionate communication means expressing your needs with empathy for your partner's feelings, energy, and circumstances. You're not just saying, "Here's what I want." You're saying, "Here's what I'm feeling. And I care about how this lands for you." Timing also plays a role in compassionate communication. Bringing up sensitive topics when your partner is tired, distracted, or emotionally overwhelmed can lead to miscommunication. Emotional cues as your partner's internal weather report. Is she calm and open, or closed off and stormy? Pushing for closeness when she's emotionally unavailable may make her feel pressured and can lead to misunderstandings or rejection. Not because she doesn't care, but because the moment wasn't right. That's why attunement is key. Emotional attunement means being aware of your partner's mood, energy level, and emotional state before diving into a vulnerable conversation. Does she seem distracted? Is she giving short answers or avoiding eye contact? These are signs she might not be in a receptive place. On the other hand, if she's laughing with you, showing affection, or engaging in thoughtful conversation, she's likely more emotionally present, and that's the perfect window to connect on a deeper level. A simple but effective habit is to ask for emotional consent before bringing something up. Try something like, "Hey, there's something on my mind. Do you feel up for a conversation right now?" This shows respect and gives her the chance to prepare mentally and emotionally. If she says it's not a good time, honor that without taking it personally. Often, the willingness to wait creates more trust, which makes future conversations easier. This awareness applies not just to verbal communication, but also to nonverbal cues. Body language often speaks louder than words. If your partner is leaning in, relaxed, and making eye contact, it signals openness. If she's tense, withdrawn, or giving short answers, it may be a sign to pause and revisit the conversation later. The ability to interpret these signals builds emotional safety, and emotional safety leads to intimacy. Also, be mindful of your own emotional state. Are you feeling needy, reactive, or anxious when initiating the conversation? Responding with empathy, thanks for being honest with me. I appreciate you letting me know how you're feeling goes a long way in creating safety and trust. In a healthy, fulfilling relationship, especially in a lesbian relationship where emotional attunement often plays a central role, understanding what intimacy means to you and your partner is one of the most vital and loving steps you can take. The first truth is this: intimacy looks different for everyone. One woman may equate intimacy with physical touch, kissing, holding hands, sex, while another may feel most connected through long conversations, shared goals, or emotional vulnerability. Neither is right or wrong. But if you don't explore these differences, you may find yourselves misaligned, one partner yearning for more affection, while the other feels blindsided or confused by those unspoken needs. It's important to start by exploring your own definition without judgment. When you laugh together, writing this down or reflecting on it in a journal can give you clarity. From there, you can begin a gentle and honest conversation with your partner about how she experiences intimacy. You might be surprised by what you learn. Perhaps she sees intimacy as quality time, watching a movie, cooking together. It's not one size fits all, it's a custom-made connection. In lesbian relationships, where societal pressures, past relationships, or identity struggles can impact how we express love, it becomes even more essential to unearth these meanings. Past experiences, both positive and painful, shape how we give and receive intimacy. A partner who once felt unsafe being vulnerable may need more patience. Someone who grew up with limited Each time you express your desire for closeness in a way that's loving and clear, you're not only inviting connection, you're building it. Even if the immediate answer is not right now, the fact that you asked with vulnerability and respect strengthens your relationship. You've shown your partner that her comfort matters just as much as your desire. And when she feels emotionally safe, she's far more likely to open up to intimacy when the time is right. It's important to remember that intimacy is not one size fits all. For some couples, it's long talks late into the night. For others, it's quiet touch, sensuality, or shared silence. What matters most is that both partners feel seen and valued in the experience. This means continuing to communicate even after the initial conversation, checking in, adjusting, and exploring each other's emotional landscapes together. And if your partner says yes, celebrate that moment, not just for the closeness it brings, but for the trust that made it possible. Her yes isn't just about the act of intimacy. It's a reflection of the emotional groundwork you've both laid through honesty, mutual respect, and genuine connection. If your partner hesitates or says no, treat that with equal respect. A healthy relationship gives both people space to say yes when it feels right and to say no when they need time. Pushing past someone's boundaries never results in true intimacy, but honoring it always strengthens the emotional core of your connection. Ultimately, the goal is not simply to be intimate, but to be close, to be real, to be safe, to be fully present with one another. When both partners feel this kind of closeness, saying yes becomes natural, not out of obligation, but out of shared desire. So don't be afraid to ask. Ask from the heart, listen with compassion, and respond with care. Because when intimacy is rooted in love, understanding, and trust, it doesn't just feel good, it becomes the foundation of a lasting, meaningful relationship.